So, Doug, the question that you've asked me is, tell me about a major out-of-the-box change initiative that IEDC is undertaking. I actually want to take you back to the organization I was with before, and that was the Council for Urban Economic Development. And the real major out-of-the-box change that occurred in the Economic Development Association world was the merger between what was then known as QED and the American Economic Development Council. We actually attempted the merger twice before we actually got it right the third time. And what we needed to do to make this really work was, one, build a constituency in both organizations. We needed to educate people. The two organizations were actually beating each other up over market share on a regular basis. We were doing many of the same things, and it was obvious that we needed to change. And so, and as you know, I've been in this job over 25 years now, either with QED or now IEDC. But the big difference maker in terms of why we're a bigger organization, why we are able to meet the needs of our members much better, how we've been able to consolidate the profession, has everything to do with the merger that we undertook in 2001. The benefits are manyfold from the merger. One, we brought the profession of economic development into one sphere. There wasn't one organization that had a certification process for professionals and another one that didn't. We now have a certification that is recognized throughout the whole profession. We had one organization that was scraping by financially and another one that wasn't. The combined organizations are producing bottom line contributions where the organization is economically healthy. We have a lot of members. We have nearly 4,300 members. We have a board that no longer represents the two sides or the two interests because, frankly, this merger occurred 10 years ago. We have a board that is focused on IEDC, not the two predecessor organizations. We're able to deal with the full gamut of economic development issues, from rural to urban, real estate to attraction, finance to urban renewal. There are many other subsets to this profession, but we are able to manage that. We're not supporting a duplicative staff. We don't have a CFO for one organization in Chicago, a CFO here, an executive director in Chicago, and an executive director or president here. We're able to eliminate a lot of the redundancies, and we're putting more of it at program delivery. And it took work. You helped us as we brought the two boards together and assisted us in creating a new governance strategy. But at the end of the day, this is a vibrant, lively organization that will stand the test of time. There are competitors clearly out there, and we need to be at the top of our game on a regular basis, and we need to be relevant to our members. As long as we maintain those core missions, we should be around and successful for a great deal of time to come. I think the secret to any project, but particularly when you're dealing with a big project like a merger, is maybe threefold. One, understand what the project is, figure out how to organize it, put good people to it, and then communicate. And we set a group of very smart people, not board members. This was done at at a staff and consultant level. And we sat there and thought through every conceivable issue that we needed to consider and needed to consider all of those issues that might trip us up. And I will tell you that once we put that together, we then built a communication strategy that I would stack up against organizations that are much bigger than what became of the combined organizations. We thought through how to appease and educate what might have been recalcitrant board members. We figured out a method for dealing with the membership of both organizations, because this was not, it didn't hit many people as the right thing to do. It was the right thing to do, but a number of people say, well, how's this going to affect my certification? How's it going to affect, the profession? We didn't think those guys, the other side, was all that good. But we thought through how to communicate those strategies, and we executed what was probably what I think one of the best communication strategies ever. What we also learned about that as a new CEO, because they did hand me the reins to the new organization, is that I was also dealing with about a half of a board that I had not worked with before, and frankly, that can be career limiting if you are not thinking about how you bring them to the place where the other half of the board already was in terms of trust and respect and an understanding of what you do. I now put out, and have for about the last 9 years, a newsletter to my board, past board members, past chairs, twice a month. It runs 18 to 20 pages in length. These people know what I do, how I do it, and the staff here as well. I don't write 18 pages. The staff helps prepare it. But there again, it was a communication strategy that we learned from the beginning. And I actually recommend it to many of my members who are in CEO slots. When they get in trouble, more often than not, it's a communication problem. Doug, I appreciate having the opportunity to join you today, and I look forward to reading the book when it arrives here later this week.